Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jibe raba dawoda na bismillah na tendu na jai bi fana mun tanane na program mo mi alna ko ko rega loko kananan kan mo sama jan na kacha kula mi alka badending banko kan kuwala abol kono the economy la fanna la political ani even environment la kunya la kananan ka kacha jang nilun tawal banko kan ani banko e bandal pour ka jako sa ko nyin kacha no nyami lokon tambila yakuba dabo mi alna ko atalam birkama ere council la chairman wala bijang na kacha sol mi ko akeda kacha very interesting bati da kacha nyin kuma da baka keda fendi mi ko jam fata bake ando jibe lal keda modi mi ko program woni fulo bake ko danda bake alla ko nyina nanu fana mol mi ko wala ka program woni jibe youtube la fana nyina ala kada bake pour ka je ka subscribe channel woni to and in Facebook fana ala share so that we can have a conversation in different varieties of varieties of topics mi ka ba den banko kan ne banko e pandal bi na misra jang wala mu Mr. Nyaur Koma mi ko UDP militant wala mi ka to pharmacy da bake nyada United Democratic Party la political la fanala amman ka wada mati nyada social issues ka banko kan ko min bije ka kaja mola mi ka pharmacy da bake ko ni fanan ko akada nyabo bari to momin na comment section on ko na jelong alafta na Jamal Samana mo Jamal ko Nyaur Koma, so we are glad to have you on our platform. Mr. Koma, thank you so much for our invitation.
Abaraka bake kome ya fanyame akatam fana kontan ku wali for the first time probably invite nim program on nim platform oto kome ya fanyame banku do ko lem fonga singa kacha kol men nyanta bora nyoto ngobo nyoto nyanta nyo faham la kudo la mol mamme ha faham isa faham nta nyo kibar nga nyo kono to dia kula membe mo be afeka nim banko kan on dongal be tentungal jay ala baraka hoping to have a productive and a successful program.
Doctor, bismillah. Fawara jana yo.
Oro kaya nge kontrong fama no kaya kaya ko fama la kaya bara ka kenyo ti do je bulu muto fana kaya kaya ti alo min bang ko be nyame are mba dam tala dam wolon ka kana luntang bismillah yo akeda moto mi yalon ko apartment sata bake andong ala kuma kan wala ka betea andi mo yo ka dia ka to aka bankero ke pol min na wala mu to nyati na banko be al halo min yo wakadanda fonga kontano ku bati wati I'm one of a very keen follower of nyauro ka dia mo min ke surtout na banko tanyala yo to ko so jam kachala kule to mi yalon ko kontano warta bake and then I look forward to having a very productive conversation about the state of affairs of our country. Para botong kung nga fanya min drong kumala balo mati anda ko kuma wala min la walong kulti min ya long ko ni man ke fanke to moti ando man ke to nyana karla de kalo no ko nyinga min fole be kere na banko ka so woto aji ko ku kilo long be ka cha da mutala wala to ando ba ku fala fana wala la kulla min be den na banko tara ta nyala ning min nyanta kala atela miro anin tol be la miro so I'm happy to be back here and of course to have this conversation one more time.
Great, Doctor. So, Mr. Nyaur, Abdani Boduna program on you gonna Jama Nina Jang. This is the first time appearing on this platform. It's a for Molioko, Jamala Nyaur Komadi. Ibamu Matamato Lakono, for get a modi piano go B, Mojama Nyalo de Campaco. Tell me the Jaro Ning for Bibadami. So, you can summarize that for us before we get into the program.
Basically, Nyaur Komamu. Santo to dindi ngoleti uluta jara soma ngana dindi ya domanding kiye ngana greater part of my life be kelati kundala karam Fontana High School Tata Gambia High School le na professional courses all that with Jollof tutors ACCA introduction so na order Karandol Kelemeri Alonko part-time courses ranging from public administration and sport administration. Na funding Keato Kabinata Jamfanang, I was part of the team rep committee in Serakunda East that I represented very well and I've been the Secretary General of the Serakunda East Sport Development Organization, where I serve my term. Then later on, I'm into football, youth activism. Comme kanyum menje fo fe yalon track record le. Ni rara jara soma yenyi ninga jumale follow committee samba police. Mfollow le ko. A committee be samba police. Funding ke wala ko la tilimbali yani tajiri. Sere kunda is jang. Kabrim ba falin na jang. Amam tumo e kumpala momo be banko kanya. We had a heated confrontation with the previous committee under the presidency of the now National Assembly member for Basse Sehuba. Kada ala nyasinyol. We had it very tough with them. Ni tatale kurpenyol bele ketaje. Labanda National Assembly, Select Committee National Assembly, or Fanam Folk kurpenyo kawe file even in the National Assembly there at the committee level. For nga change to Sera Kuna is be fighting corruption and in Tilimbalia. So basically, entire life is committed to youth service, community service, and sports. So conventionally by 2017-18, my mother and my father were key members of the UDP. Then later on, through my in-law, Menketa, one of the friends to Talib Bensouda's father, that's Ahmed, that's called P.O. Jara, the former deputy commissioner of prisons, is my in-law. So through him, he connected me, telling Talib ko, nyawul ni funding ke wolle do ko la adum anila ko wolbe nyokono back. I think Nianati la campaign it will add value. That's how I came to the campaign team, and from there onwards, I had only one program in Sambamena Radio. From then onset, anywhere that there should be a public engagement on Talib, on the radios, on TV, anywhere. From 2018 to 2023, I'm heading that all. Surua Kango, Angale, Kango, Maninga Kango. So basically, this is how I get into active conventional politics. So from then onwards, Ntebe UDP le, the whole for Menketa Talib went his own way. I still remain UDP. On tell conviction momenti, move go valid. No, that is it. So in a nutshell. So for many men, what women basically
Wow.
this now come, you know, mbama bota nyami na kudanne, mare na kunda, mfama bota koma kunda sukuta, bari fanala mol according to history be bota nyani. So basically, well, but in Anadindi, ya do ke chomale, chunk of it na Latikunda them. So Latikunda jang, I spent more than like 35 to 40 years here. So basically, in Anna life with my uncle, oh, who was an engineer at the port called Keri Maren. The wife was Kumbasise Maren, a former Minister of Women's Affairs during the defunct APRT regime. So Wallente brought up, I was brought up in their home. Basically, this is who I am. Alabara.
Wow, that's incredible. Jana bodi na program onyen kono ya damu da ning youth development nyinala. La fana kacha damu da wota. But jani wo imo molti mi anna ko ibo society kono wala I sorant molle sorant mi anna ko londi tiyo lom I so be ada karawla fana nyina. For nyin kere fendi mi anna ko ayima ko bage growing up, you are better serious with your education. At ne so be ada karawla nyina fana. Walk us through about your upbringings. What are some of the things me and Noko Walela idea and inform ila assertiveness and standing for justice? Do you have anything to relate?
Yeah, I have very, I have things to relate. Come here, when you have a humble bringing up, you were brought up by people, mele alonko. Tonya tonya ne me Gambia la education lo ye Gambia la karango lo. Yala ne ko kudan kol man to Gambia karango kono sakotu bab karango kom. So nita I'm privileged to have my mom from Kudang and from Mare Nakunda. So in that household, I look up to people. Nde, looking up to people, I don't need to go outside to outsource. If I need a bureaucrat, I have it in my uncles. If I need a medical doctor, I have it in my uncles. If I need a scientist, I have it in my uncles. If I need an agricultural expert who has spent virtually his entire life with agriculture, FAO, regional director for West Africa for ages, he ended up being the first vice chancellor of the University of the Gambia, Dr. L.J. Marina. People like that being my mother's brother. I look up to them. So when I'm making decisions and I want to be serious with whatever I do, I have to start looking up to them. Adu mandin ko lemen fo wonto buka sawon adingo ngunuma. You cannot be related to people like that. I'm brought up by Kerry Marina, who was one of the finest civil engineers in the PWD and over the Post Authority estate manager. For so long, he built the Kalaji Bridge under his supervision and did many other things for public works in this country, whose wife also was an educationist, a feminist, Kumba Siseman, who ended up being state minister. Stuff like that, and many cousins, doctors here, lawyers. Our Sise is our cousin. Sharif Sekuba Sise, Larry Sise, United Nations is a cousin. You can name a lot. Dr. LJ, another LJ, he's a biochemist, PhD holder, lecturer at Ulster University, and many other people who are related in the same compound, the same household. Former Solicitor General Cherno Marina, all those guys are my uncles, cousins, and brothers.
Yeah.
So I don't outsource outside. I look up to them. So there are certain things ntawo keno la ngatara wolbe balu nyamene ka balu itarola e ka balu la karan la jikita wolla. So many of them even left government jobs to do private things and they were very successful. So
Yeah.
basically growing under that environment,
Mhm.
I don't need to outsource inspiration.
Mhm.
I don't need to outsource integrity.
Mhm.
I don't need to outsource independence
Mhm.
and I don't need to outsource courage.
Sure.
Because when you know the people I'm mentioning now,
Mhm.
I am from a family of more than 10, 15 medical doctors combined. So I can't like look to up to people nga silela.
Mhm.
Ntala uncle ñol dolbe degree soto la Gambia my independence. Soto. Some of them
Mhm.
were having their masters before independence. Some of them had their PhD before independence. So
Yeah.
how can I mbesela na juma la kotek? Eko
Okay.
kitimbontiyo menkulu sinkango bugo sila. So
Yeah.
basically
So,
this is it.
if before Mbaduna Kajani's corner, I mean, is there any moment me and Noko inisi de Kajare come for and be and Samo defend me and Noko? It keeps you moving, like the sense of motivational things about being content and did they actually how did they impacted your life other than looking at them from far?
Mama lay impact more.
Mhm.
That is Alaji Karim Marina, that is the father of my mom and the father to all these doctors and all these great pillars for Marina Ako.
Mhm.
More. Ibo ita mumenti. Ni ko ebe kuo kukela nata kukendol di mumenti ko le follow jube. Ni ko ebe kujo okele ite bota dame ite mumenti ko le follow jube. Kata kuke. Me alon ko asi malundi aye wululal malundi aye bodulan ko malundi.
Mhm.
Katu dunia kuman jarar. Men jartala wolem ala kuoti hadamadin kuo ani moya ko. Ako kuo ku ya lon wo a jartala. Bari na manke woti kuo ku men ni wo mo tanodi aman jarar. Adunga be wole nyama be yama rola wo nyama. Kabrinte be ngata wol malla fi wandi fenna e me nyalo wandi fenka e ka balu wol mu talibol le ka do ko ke ka balu tarola e ka senoke ye dingol karandi o mati ne yela senol ni la hani sai ay kore men to is still existing ntata je not too long ago about 1 month ago nin sol men bije sai nin si kemen nin talul to kemen flasi adin sai wo kore be on ado
Mhm.
ako mo kana nin sol wash akeke o kare bore ay ke family ye ni gammol sita ni even mele alon ko anyanta ka kese ato la kuoti ay bondi bara bukate wato wate fanana ako wo mu suwala town down so wo be jail basically I been for to mo bula badi yato so wo is an inspiration mkuluta men fana mbulu keri mare mo be alon na lati kunda sabiti the mo ne na do ko alon na he cannot even hurt a fly but wo martin na to nya integrity mo manin kuma fulalo mo mani ya fula kulo mo mani pirim paran kulo a calm tale calculate he's very calculated calm and measured in whatever he does
Mhm.
so ninga wol soto ngal sister soto ben kata ma sembe mare nati me alonko he's like a model figure to me ntebe ku kala bari musolu kono yala hadama de momo e ka hani bari musu tan so no mo bi de me alonko is a their sister. This is the their sister to me. And ni me mo lon so be ya tilingo jubal lek wala mo la hajo. So ite de wote tirian wala man tiling iman ka tonya mo. So nde ni inspiration so mbama alhamdulillah yo Bataraziz Kaput ya memvo Gambia is size kein Geld kein Arbeit size man
Yo, moro ngaji ki
kurang so
omanya mballa kula, you know, no matter
Exactly.
how bad it is, it just speaks to the
basically
realities of our country.
basically what be caring. So my mom also inspires me a lot. Musole me alonko Lokitala Karanta. He was in the same class with the likes of Dr. Kurang in those days. Karanta left for standard 4. So I was the last born also because I have sisters who are over 70. My brother Adam.
Oh, sure. All right. Mr. Kumar, you can hear us? Hello. Hello.
Technical problem le caring on the side.
Yeah. So, Doc, you was talking about upbringings, community me and all the world, and family, friends of family, the inspiration of me impact into his life. Wala ke modi me could be after that daming and a lot of principle on me. You can better relate this, growing up in combos.
Life found be wala nyama. Dunia e hadamadi nje drong bon sunna bala. You know, and it wants for different aspects of your development. Ela society plays a key role and more many along ko wale be sutiare ngital. Yo badi ngolu to society to wala mo kota ngolu many along ko ini wale la kube nyokon. So ibe society min kono drong wala atin ko society has a greater influence on the attitude of children growing up. At the level of the household. Ndaka fa moli yalo ko the origin of all knowledge is that which you get from the home. Kuluoto, famajioto, daji koto, aninke baroloto. Ajama babeje, even though school try to shape and mold you in that direction, kabo konyaje komo tata, university for 4 years and I degree soto, is you have attended a particular, degree level, you put in the attitude, the required discipline and of course hard work, but suo kono beka kaiti gi mola but okuluo sembe mabe kaboloto because this is where you learn humanity, you learn society, and you learn kujamal dino la karola ini molo temo la karola ani be fon sambala nyame wale ati nandaka fo mole ko nendir man jow ya dunia min tambete ko moyo ko imon kulon wale kulubal ya la kado that has a generational impact you are iba ko mol iba wala ka ko mol la. So what at in the near they become very progressive in society. Ikata mole mini alonko mo beke la mo yela ni dia muta mol and buka ke ko malang kolte dunda ko ko. Nyawuru might not recognize me, but I've interacted. I've seen him a lot of times on this in Karadam Fukul, and then anywhere you see this person, and then you can
Definitely at
easily
the
recognize and
stadium was
notice them.
yeah. When the boys refused to come
Exactly.
out and play, he was there
you know.
to plead with them to
So,
come out.
he is this person who is very agile, very active, and of course, very charming in the way he operates. So that's one thing I personally, admire about him. And he's somebody me along for na lata minna lata wala. Dunia, that is why life is not on convenience. It must be based on principle and conviction. Ilata minna nyanta lala wala. Ni la tonya momenti no kana ona karimolia. And then many a times, ni moje B anyininka karabota mindole. Katu bodula wala katandite mo sifa minta what you represent in society. Ekoni meta adula lo eka muri bodulale. Kolbe mukangol ladi to tell you ibon sungo bodamente jele nyanta direction or dealer in the way you actually carry yourself in life. I'm not sure if you can hear us, but because
Yeah, I think he's
Adamala
here.
Pankolo, Botomalo Munkule caring. But
I
if
I
it's a
can hear
common.
you. Mbal
All
moy
right.
kan.
Oh,
All right, you
Oh,
can.
right.
Yeah, so
So
sir,
until after karo damu dala daming, like I was just saying, we might not have familiarity, but mota fola gambia ko manya uru long. Ita alon na long nya
but
do la minya long kata bara ko pasu de.
get me ko ako malong ako samani kurang ba kiri hodla.
Bara butong ni funding ke la manya to ntanga je ko you were very active in not just sports but youth development and very progressive in the way not just the way you carry yourself but the way you motivate young people. Bara kara dam fon tolo sanji dan tan tolo mo kenu na sate kon. Funding ke jama be je do ku kolyata nyimban ko ka. Funding ke le bi ni ko mi ko kata ba ko la ka fo hani ba ka faji lembi talale. Ida keta motemi ya lon ko bambanta num ba ke funding ke la karola. What is the general analysis of youth development in the Gambia under the current dispensation?
Omar Malmo, Abaraka Baki, Alka Mwela Kodi.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
It's pathetic, it's sad. This country is a banana republic. Sorry to say, but that's the hard fact. You cannot have a component of society like you that represent more than 65% of our population. And when you are doing budgetary allocations for this country, the component and the ministry responsible for youth and sports, you budget 140 million for that component. That is 0.02% or 0.03% of the entire budget. You want to tell me we are serious as a country? Only the senior national team have a 5 match engagement because me, I'm into football. I'm part of the Gambia Football Federation organizing committee. That is the highest decision-making body of 13 people who sit over football issues, sit over competition issues, and look at the national teams. Even 5 games of the national team, match bonuses, camping allowances, staff that are there, the hotel, and all what transport and all the expenditure will be more than $30 billion per match. So even with only 5 matches, the budget is gone. That's for all the sport. And you're talking about youth and sport, two components. Because they are intertwined, they can't go without each other. There's no sports without youth. And there's no youth without sport. That is a fact. Because that is what bring these two components together. So ni teko mansa kunna min ka budget sifa da ita ko lafta ka develop la nyaadi me alon ko Gambia Football Federation only the senior Scorpions ma for the other teams there only the senior national team 5 games even the World Cup qualifier they play more than 5 games but 5 game expenditure is more than 140 million it's a recurrent budget be wala kon. So youth development what type of initiative can you bring for the youth? What type of platform can you create for the youth pour fanje? At a certain level, it must have that political will. There can never be development with the drivers of that development and the cornerstone, that is the pillar of the development, are neglected and they are left behind. You must have the political will to be able to drive that. Because if you look, your component, 42% of the country are unemployed. Majority out of that, 75% are the youth. Near Jube, X and the people who are also employed, more than
Doctor, we cannot lose both. The lose la corona jang network of an monso. Ni lost the corona sa improvise but network on combo lose low loud well.
Yeah, all of these things are very much interconnected because come ka fo mole nyamen drone ni foto kurangola. Eka fo jiola le. Ni foto jiola ni la misil me afan baro ko le ala wala nyinde ko ani jonkon la fon ta nya be ko le ala e bul. So if foto kurangola da make a fo jiola le ka fo internet wala le. You might actually lose even phone connectivity because energy is a national security matter. It's a driver of our economy. It's a key component of everything. Literally, in real countries, I think the energy sector drives the economy. So aji be hani kacha fa man keno wote de amana ko ko soto nin kul min be dende wala nin socio-economic activities mol bo keno la nyaji de. You know ko ka ho mole ko we have technical problem. Technical problem for how long? But the impacts of that technical problem is what you and I and every other person is facing. Ranga mera nata ko den kede ngaji ben no ba.
Yes, Mr. Koma, are you here? Hello? Yeah, he's not with us for now.
Yeah, but we still continue the
Yeah, so
program. It speaks to the
Abamin Foka wala mula the 146 million allocation for youth and sport, while the office of the president is having 1 billion. I mean, I
It's
think that
not for me. For me, I don't even do a comparative analysis. I look at the sectorial demands and, of course, expectations within that sector. Now, here we are talking about whatever millions. I don't know the exact figure, but let's look at the youth development aspect of it, and of course, youths in sports. Now, how many sports do we do in the Gambia? Volleyball, BJ, basketball, BJ, and multiple sports. Nico 5 games of the national senior team. It's just one team. We have an under 17, we have an under 20, we have female team, we have an under 23. This is all just football. We also have like football centers, all this Nawetan Central Mini Alongo, Nyande Marco like a stadium will build a league will, improve. We have the national league, that of course the government in a way or another got to support and other things. One football or Doronadi. Go into athletics, go into other kind of sports like basketball. We need to create more basket courts and all of that. We need to create, let's say, facilities near Alongo, tracks and it has started also they need a youth center and all of that. Where are all of these things going to come from? We talk about employment, youth employment, and all of those things. Those things are on the lowest low this time around because me make it wala nyinte ko. Hane karang wala fanna do niya jibe. Ko man to nita da Gambia college admission or sodoje. Along ko lungo minebe college bana you have direct employment into government. And of course ikata college the for college bang ibuka hani taransu joje. Na do that from kaminka found they give you a stipend of $500. Kabiri nyman sakunda na da adama la nyaton kaya kota yobe buruka jele. Now even direct employment you don't get it in government. You need to go pay thousands and thousands to get an education and come back and start to go look for a job. Back in the day, how many thousands of people get out of college and get direct employment into agriculture, get direct employment into teaching field through education, get direct employment into public health, get direct employment into nursing. Now, in all of these very key sectors of our economy and, of course, the well being of our people and the progress of our nation, you will be a cripple in a sense that you can school from a band, you are struggling to get a job. When in reality, the ratio of a nurse to patients in the Gambia is still very low that more be sularing do hula law fanala, but masakona kamana fonte jo nola. So what is the proactive measure that government is doing to make sure that people who got the required capacity, skills, and knowledge are actually employed into the system to help Gambia and the Gambian people to actually alleviate probably poverty and all other things within the system. But a wale fanga buka keno ni aja funding ke dolbe do ko sotola sign is through either barter trade ibadi nebe nyundu la kare we eta wala fo ko ayri famu do ya eta weta or political psychophancy ibe tala ye wuri toli ye karante man karani parete ye chika ye palaso dile ya fo eta do ko laje nyen non ko te membe kere na bankoka.
yeah.
So, in terms of youth development, we saw, of course, ita for no kwa abe jawiata. We saw Mboyo feeling that place looked great. Commendation to the government for putting up a respectable facility in that place. Kukenda Ballot. But you go to Ngamala for a GFF Gunjur Take because there is a distinction between what the government did and what the Football Federation does, because the Football Federation is not a government entity. So many a time people have a difficulty in distinguishing the responsibilities of the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and of course the responsibility of Gambia Football Federation, because that is just a football federation. And again, all of these things, Dulata Gambia jam, jamu because until what time we struggle to even host the Students' Week because there is no youth facility nyimbango kaita mfoko apart from FIFA goal project yako ko nyimu masakundala youth facility Ballot me alonko you can gather let's say 10,000 young people to have a discussion like even all this neck off and all of that people just come here and solidify the code kudan tankero mobete la hajola. And those people who run those things are now the people, some of them call themselves, I volunteer for Baro 2026, Padre Al Tambidawala. But it tells a lot about, young people and the level of radically alive consciousness among young people in this country. Because at the end of the day, you see NPP and their politics. Jumala ka be sembentu ya funding kello. And wo funding kel jama bolo kono moro ala along kila along. Jama be jana dogo memu dogo di maso. Wali atin na funding ke jama be je mo jalle janeta nyulun wala kono mi yalon ko kulun wala janeta mi yalon ko itol ko be ta kan ko masilu la kata to ba udum. But ale obe sa bara button kurang na la koten ke mbe kurang ko foka Mr. Koma, but button we still want you to actually get us through youth development and of course the realities on the ground and what we could do better.
So basically kabimbe diamola fembuka phone all time, all right?
No, I can follow. We are hearing you.
Hello?
Yeah, and came with come on.
No, mbe moy kan na for wato minna ila fen kota complete darkness. But we heard you all the way to when you're trying to look at, of course, the figures from the budget and in reality hanif kadadam fu lulu fanga manta atatambin wala and all of that. So that's basically where we cease to hear you. Atolo ko nyinon continuity de nyina nyanda continue la Gambia al ko nyinon kairot. Atolo min betara al nyokum bembe al tada bembe kamal o fen ko de SSP al ko nyina nyanda continue la na Bangkok al ko nyinon nyaro tata nyinon yuruat. Ana kacha mimo kacha te mbuka keno. Al ko mansa kunda wala nyanda continue la momi sanje tanke jal ko sanje tam mankanya ngai sanje tan ni lulu kay muan kay muan lulu kay tan sabake ko demba sabal ngol ka fo nyami. Because it all da jibo be faare ne tol man Gambian wala hati malla fi mol ba bata da min kono man ke tol nyako to fent. So long it all their individual aspirations and ambitions are served, they don't care about the common good, they don't care about the well-being of Gambian. This is what you people tell us need to continue. Mingo ming mi along kwa kasi Gambia ka fo ko mimbe ja wala until ngoti wala untunya wala nyanta continue molo ila individual interest do na bije. It's not the collective good of all people of this country. Oto molla nyanta mfama jala ngaja ko mbe pata min kono mbe toro min kono it should not and cannot continue, because that is a total governance failure, where a people of a nation cannot even sit on a platform and have a conversation. How about the socio-economic activities that people need to do? How about the millions of lives that are very much dependent on the energy sector to actually make ends meet for their families? How about the very many people, let's say 2.4 or beyond, total population of the Gambia, mini alongo inyanta tala kamol to andi sula da jiol la nunkurango la ko jiol si wala. How about the thousands and thousands of people that need to wake up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. just to purke la bidong wala fandi jiola? Nyinlo mkuti ndolo ko nyanta continue na Bangkok ngo nyino yuruwati nyino nyaro tata nyino the seeking of continuity is basically, and self-perpetuation rule is on the basis that these are the services, basic social services nyima sakunda ma provide no more. Kacha mimo kacha te fam ma ke nyala mi yalon ko akon asa kontano simol. So this is continuity for our people. Anyway, let's try again and see, because I can see the fluctuation in and out. Maybe
are you with us now? Iba Molfele. Hello. I think we're gonna have it on WhatsApp. I think that will be more convenient. Because sending in the dog over nyami kurang data nim kurang dan in the dog one thing. So say okay. Comment section or all complain all. It's deeply sad though. Like it's really sad. The cops are here for me.
Alan da buka comment section jen tolu nimbe kajala jan tolu buka auto ma fon jipe ko mo pole ko kede.
No, kurang ko complain kan bilai.
Go kurang wala ta moro. We can, if you can call him on WhatsApp is good. But we got to continue, because this way our people will know what is going on in this country. And then molo coming from Wole Katonya Tanola Foye Kamol Ketula Kafo technical problem. One thing about the Gambian is energy sector. We have technicians all over, and the technicians' responsibility is to fix technical problems. And technical problems are to be fixed swiftly. They are not to actually prolong. So if you have a technical problem, ni masingola component letinyata, you need to get because masingola mini kurang tamba in dollar wodla, they all need to have spare parts mini along they are readily available within the facilities. Then you do a problem also, you can easily replace that. Hana atara kurang betala bakela maybe 1 day late wala 2 days. So what kind of a technical problem is there? So ni molka sika banko mol be nakareka for technical problem. Technical problem have specifics. Let them tell us what specific technical problem they are having. Is it that a particular part of machinery wala problem also, and why can that not be replaced or fixed? To this day, people are suffering in this country, lack of energy. Is it also that there is an impact on the supply chain of certain materials? Meaning, along it will generate all they use, probably lubricants or probably some parts that they do not have, or is it actually the heavy fuel and other fuel supply system or the supply chain disruptor or in one way or another? But then to come out and tell the entire citizen that we have a technical problem that is not sufficiently explained to the people. So therefore, we do not even know what the technical problems they continue to tell us. It's not true. A government that is not truthful to its citizenry does not deserve a day in our state house. But masakunda mi bendola bangoka. Ibuka balu tonya ni ntilungola. Nino mutonya tidro. Denga follow mutonya ni mafo dumbenyo nakarola.
Yeah.
You know?
Mr. Koma,
We capitalize when we are able to have them.
But live studio in Debu Molka kanje. It's fine. Need them be more studio. It doesn't matter. Nila face my finifan is fine. If you can hear us, you can comment.
So Ali, I think you need to bring it very closer to your mic. Purunga ala voice. Mtabuka mo back at that. Are you calling him on WhatsApp?
It is a DM no naji from from the studio. Then no mantano, then we can have you through the phone. It's a disconnect, no connect by. So so we're gonna have him Batra Nasolo Naji from Bamara. Mr. Koma, can you even more minutes? Hello?
Because Nawek also there was something that there is a positive correlation between Nawek and rain. When there is rain, there is no electricity.
Yeah, so
when there is no rain, there is electricity. Kandamalo electricity from sama from you from la.
So then, but WhatsApp, then from there we can continue having a discussion. It's so ridiculous. You know.
I'm going to support NPP.
Huh? Hello, Mr. Koma. Can you hear us now? All right. Yeah, I can. All right. So, Dr. Mr. Koma.
Suddenly, yeah.
Yeah. So, Mr. Koma, ako mafagan nunyamin sana nevi dunda nevek la kachani na kono. But janim baduna nevek kono. Lafte ya formulia the environment of Banyadi signed and dinne kabin sama follow kera silul Banyadi de ani silul nijo la halo Banyadi la sade.
Yeah, look, I have to go a little bit back for me funding you come for not one din sene and come and go. Gambia is a sad nation. The cream of society. Can you do that? One day I have a toilet in my house.
This is beautiful.
8 years ago, among the Mankatofai.
Oh, that's great.
What era
Funding is sad. 65% of the Gambian population are believed and are youth. But the allocation for youth and sport is 140 million. National team la game are we a country that is serious in advancing youth development, or we want to retain our youth, or we want our cream to be relocating? Because what the migration of Mambia is an economic migration. What then Labia more William, Katatuwa will go to a group of more being left a little Wula the situation of Member, improve it from the Member Wula. Sandy, if the country and the Gambia cannot give you that platform for you to gain little, you will venture out. And after those seas and the high oceans are boiling, you will make sure some will surmount those obstacles and anchor in Europe. That's a fact. So basically, the Memphis is a non-starter. Gambia is pathetic. These people, they don't have the foresight. They don't have the platform. They don't have the political will. The intention is not there for the youth. They just need, they can make it, Kalafi for funding used Kojoram. Ni parita yi discard. This is how it is. Political patronage level in Bangkok. Kubabu amde and kumabu amunde. If you wanna be looking good, if you wanna have fine things and you wanna live life, you must play to their tune and dance to the tune of the incumbent. That is it. So funding government have a current idea degree. Your bank will be disappointed, will be disappointed. It's all my long code. I said the difference between a certified guy and an educated guy. A certificate will be support because it will go mania. No more current and then take a reflect ila comportment lela dajiko and service to society. So neither is an attitude, ila comportment is contrary to your qualification. So that means that you are not educated. You are just certified. You went to school for certification. You didn't go to school to improve yourself and the livelihood of others close to you. Because that is the character of an educationist. Moment current day, then take a more current the more inoma. You can more senti se men jube nyalota. Wala nan the series ya momo ikela environment level is very important. Hadaman dumola balwela environment level kumata bit.
Sure.
You understand? So basically, no board. Ninna de kadi men fo nga fole ko nawe ila kuram imalo etal fon malo. Because they have not been truthful. I was just from having that no some with their PRO. Former PRO of the police. Many 98% of the PROs they are all stooges. They say things just to misinform society. Because 95% on the grid, we are all suffering still for electricity. They have more a technical problem. They don't have technical problems. Now I'll say them in the back. They have technical problems. They have mechanical problems. They have psychological problems. They have financial problems. They have generational problems. They have inept transgenerational problems. Because the root cause of all these issues is ineptitude, corruption. The most corrupt department, one of the most corrupt departments in this country is now. Even their daily sales of cash power, they cannot reconcile them on daily basis.
Sad.
Is a serious. What is pumped into now? Last time, we have numbers to back. Atola Grand Rec from the jam project is in excess of $164 million and still in count. In the AFD's Agence Francaise Memo French Department, 12.5 million euros plus 3 million budgetary support. In the ECORIP, that is the ECOWAS project, is all grants I'm talking to you, is $66 million. An extra $50 million for the roadmap from the World Bank. The OIC, $22.5 million are grants. Another extra $30 million also is a grant. Exim India Bank, $45 million. And just to name a few. So the government make a pump, a bekata nawe, akata mintu. Damen me alongo. Even in the picture lona damen omara. Banco is sad. Kabir sad out of Caravaggio on a time. And he had a me, but do you know that without 10 years ago, even one generator makes 1 watt produce no generator may be a quick hold limited. And of recent their deal, no, now it is a disaster. They're asking for 348 million in difference. They are going at a new rate, for 242 francs CFA per kilowatt. In a big emergency deal with Senelec. That is killing this country. The amount of money they're talking about. Can they don't have and try alternative way of managing energy? There is no country in the world. Maya Longo, Aboko Gambia, where 80% of your energy is outsourced externally. It's not internal. The implications of those things security implications.
Right.
As we are speaking to you, I'll cite you two examples. You look at two in money. They all send and electricity they get. I will tell you the figures: 35,238,000 US dollars from July 2025 to April 2026. That is what they owe Stenelec. It's a liability. Man, the jacket, electricity they give 17,187,000 US dollars from October 2025 to April 2026. In total, that is $52 million that they owe. Man, the jacket. Now it is not giving us free electricity. We buy from their goods and all their agents gas power. You buy it and you control. You can't consume without buying. So that amount that we pay, what could we do? Here are the photo one. They come from Monaco. They're making profits. But your making of profits doesn't matter because your liabilities 100 or 1,000 times outweighs your profit. So at the end of the day, it can make the one go. You talk about profitable making profits when your balance sheet is insolvent. You have an insolvent balance sheet. Where when you look at the liability column, you not even think about the profit because it's just a chunk out of the ocean. So when you go to Koto Power Station, I did the right thing and go that. But in Safari, Omar Marmod will be the same and it is the so the region and Akamunda for 20 years. Close to their power station, go to South Africa over 20 years. I'm on record. You can use them. Yes, still the Mecca below nothing money. Today will be more than 1 month, 2 days. Man, Joy Pompoto. Boholo the Jokata be world. That Joe I have to buy this water from the sun. Well, avian not. You can go to court. You will not hear Indians filming anywhere. These people are not telling us the truth. They will. You imagine if the president can organize a meeting yesterday. It took a manifesto lodge. Out of the entire 9 agenda, nobody among the 11 or 15 speakers memo didn't discuss anything about the agenda, but a political rampage trying to criticize, disrespect elderly statements like Hussein Udam. It took a wooden protocol. It took a Lembankuluko. It took a Kakura of in Bangkok. Our government is just like a circus mealonko. There are only clowns living there.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's
Mukukuma balati andung balafa from nada waradaming. We've seen even people in Dinak Wolka Tala Senegal, Wolka Giosan Senegal, ko Satebe Soto Gambia, me along Wolka Gio Soto Gambia, Wolka Giosan from another country. You know, more in this 24th century. And again, Mim Mukoti, if Nawek cannot satisfy the current population of the Gambia, nyin sanji tango kono ko ya fanyame nyin manjana di dukuta fena e man kukuta dundin na electricity la fenkodo. Our population is increasing exponentially. Settlements expansions are happening. So what is the foresight? Now we come projections leje kabuko in the next 10 years Gambia electricity demand, the level of development and of course infrastructure and otherwise business hubs and all of that. Dula jamabe this proliferation of real estates and of course road connectivity and then animal balu kadem it's becoming wider than before. But I told you projection like in terms of planning. Do you think that is generally a planning problem in the Gambia and of course the current dispensation?
It is not only a planning problem. It is deliberate. I think at times it is sabotage because they don't care. Omar, the most important thing, you can be informed. You can have the best policy document. You can have the best policy programs. But when the implementation is not supported by the system, it becomes zero. The impact on people's life is what matters. These people, they don't care. Because they ought to know better. If you are dependent on hydroelectric power, you are supposed to know that Cabo early July is a lean period all over those areas, or they depend on water. When the water level comes down, the generation comes down. And if you're getting electricity outsourcing it outside, before they think of giving you outside, they will always take care of their own domestic needs first. So what is the stopping this country? That is the dangerous thing. Because at the worst, at the peak period, 101 megawatt, Gambia will need only rural Gambia. But you expand electricity to rural Gambia, you then expand generation. That is, you are building what? You want the entire system to collapse. Because the mega and the mere resources and the mere generation, it's like a main generator. That is what you outsource and what you generate in this country. When you compare that to the demand, you have come here with the advent of all this real estate agent and the business community coming up and people coming for investment. If the demand was 101 and that is the peak that you produce, you need more than 300. And you put it more on the grid by extending it just for political gains. Yes, we are making it, but it's not even incorporated in the system because you know your system cannot take it. So it all can. Gambia is very sad at this moment. At worst, you can mention is 50 megawatt, and you need 101. Out of that, 80% is outside. When we only get 46 in real time. How do you get 46? In a G5 engine, Membeji right now will get them only 11 megawatts. The popular G6 that was there from 1985, when found out that through the Danish Development Agency, the Danish International Development Agency called DANIDA, purchased that G6 engine for the Gambia. That was the last time we had a high-powered generation producing machine. G6 will give you 6 megawatts. In a one-cylinder engine, at most 9 megawatts. Then they have 2-man engines that will give you 10, that will be 20. Holistically, you get only 46. And only GBA, 101 billion. So that puts you under pressure. You want to satisfy the president. You want to satisfy the people in the rural Gambia. Nobody says that rural Gambia manjana kwa you want them to be electrified. But it is meant to jump from. It's not sustainable. It's not enough to sustain GBA. Now you add bomb on the grid. You're talking about the OMVG. That one cannot even so. These people, they think that we don't understand things. My friend, how can the Gambia even supply people outside when we don't even have, I engage the TRO on the Rakoha, they compute, whatever you come but you don't produce it. Because if you cannot generate, you cannot supply. You are not even generating. What you are generating, Al-Kasa megawatts will major installments. Airport to jump how many times? Airport jump. Disaster in 2 weeks ago. Flag was coming down and land the ground for you have to take off again and go.
Damn.
I'm telling you something.
That's serious.
You have to airport of Banner.
3 weeks ago, airport. Flight me now, the landlord, land on clock. He has to take off emergency.
Yeah.
So it will go 17 kilowatt make a major installation. So look at that. Then look at will be fun. Airport will be fun. Police installation will be fun. So where military installation will be done? What is our problem? That's why I said their problem is not generational only. It is transgenerational. It's psychological.
Yeah.
It's mechanical. It's technical.
That is sad.
Now, I want to move this conversation to security.
It's not about lubricants, availability of heavy fuel, parts, no whole payment issues. Memo issue more, but let them come out and fix this problem. But with the way we are going, these people cannot fix this problem. They are busy. If they can distribute 100 vehicles for MPP and 300 motorcycles for them, if businessmen or they love this country, before you do that for political patronage, you better invest that in electricity and in energy so that we have a stable energy in this country. You know how many people are living with asthma, are living with conditions that don't call for them to be under a humid condition for more than 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
How many people are having pressure here?
Yeah.
They cannot enjoy electricity because they cannot even have fun. Some of them have to step outside, keep on fanning themselves the entire night, they will not sleep. That is adding their pressure.
Alo, ofana nara sunyara mese wala fa satelo kono. You know,
Right.
yalo sasa tol phone taga official, but you know, imagine, you know, you have to go to toilet, you need to do, you know, hada madin wala nyanto from ibalo wala, you know, all those things are dependent on water. Nin kurang man so the geo buka so you know, mole kela nyanto keno nyadi.
I will tell you an experience that therefore I went through. Once upon a time I was admitted at the Outage. There was no running water in the RVA. I have to go and buy every 2 buckets to pour it in a bucket to be able to take bath. My cousin's wife, Dr. Samasa's sister, Mary is the one who went and poured that water for me and the bucket. Her name is Mary Samade. She is a medical doctor. She's called ultrasound Dr. Lewat.
That is the Mr. Dr. Samada's
assistant. You know, he's married to my cousin Keba Mane and the orthopedic surgeon. So he came to visit me as a no condition. He has to go and buy the bucket and bring me water from the shop that I used to take bath. In RZT, the only teaching hospital, the only major referral hospital, only one, the only teaching, only major referral hospital in this country. You want to tell me that we are serious as a country? You want to tell me we are serious for development? What I jam kwe go medam kumpu jam kwe calculating till the local and they still bring their useless bids.
So
go and ask them over 20 years because
Mana beka bill kaya when you fara. All right. Yeah, because something that you haven't used. Ima for me use it. We are taking water
from the boreholes. We're drinking from avian water for the last 1 month. Without avian, we can't drink. We have to buy water to drink every day. Minimum you spend 300, 400, 500 on water every day in a household. Because a pack of water for that, all finally generation and energy affects everything.
Yeah, when the demand increases,
the pack that you are buying for $100 is now $150 or $140 minimum. Areas like here, when they outsource it and bring the water to their shops, they say $175. And me alone, I will consume $175 a day. Because 1.5, you will then go money, then it will go money. By the time I go to bed, 6 liters or 8 liters is gone.
Abala fa from the water.
Yeah.
Abala fa water, you know.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about it the whole day in Taparela Joe.
For the next 5 years. They are not committing suicide. Or they don't want genocide in this country because they think that it's only fight and wars that bring genocide. No. What we are going through is tragedy.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented. Now you cannot have glass in your little. Sign glass.
Yeah.
Glass.
No, ndeka jibe dami mfano. Yalong badala sa telephone wall sufficient. Isa for you can get, you know, fresh fenko. But imagine, you know, you can in transport kata sate dol to santol to. Sa wolbe kala nyadi la nyunkuranta wato kono tek. Wala yala wala hana domoro fombe ko yala wala mali.
Omar, if I tell you one thing, will you believe it? Tata start out in Bangkok. Nyamina West. Bataya kina bataya bukai de o itomo bukai subu tomo ka macaroni kensa ka ola ka kenna waroti. Ne jabo fere. E kanol ni fall to yo fry fame da ni afaji ni foso so mina mona e macaroni no ne macaroni pasta.
Ay pasta no na ko ma jene na.
Yo e ka pasta ni
Moro bare o gara wala.
ka subu. Aka kenyoti.
Yeah, because you
Ya
know.
de mo be soso no mana soso chu. Abe chu do mana ka pasta kora kan ko ka subu la aka pasta big tino mix ko abe subu do mo ka. Wallahi azim. In banko kanja. That is how Batamim be in banko kan koma. Plan do be say. Well, ne kini ko drone tabi foi pareda. Ah? Because jimmo drone yuru raka. Not even true. Ngaje nyalale. And it's not last year, it's this year.
But I
So the kafu mo ko banko kan ko ne yari de woldo. Wol do be ko de mo ga muru kana ke fa jawol. Wala kana ke fa jawol. Hey, sila buka GD mola buka kurandi mola. Bunyi ma buka GD mola buka kurandi mola. Social amenities all and basic amenities all to maboli afale. Water, clean on tap water.
Sure.
Education. And if it is going to be a primary health care facility, you must be able to have access to health.
Yeah.
Square measles, they are readily available. Even if we get this, you look at balanced diet, correctly in this country, how many people live on balanced diets? But it has just 3 square measles. How many families in this country can tell you we depend on 3 square meals? It's not more than 20%, I can tell you. So you will condom back in a bunch. That's how much it is. That's how money condolence is. That's how much you control is see one drone. You know, we will someone that will be a rabbi before. Well, at the side, society got more control romance here. You must all will assume no, you will see a so many later. More beta in the before. Come on, you will later. So that also has a social implication. New social implication do be morally, that's why poverty is not anybody's friend. It is the father and the mother of all vices, negative vices in society. Poverty causes everything. All this high rate of crime, corruption, a bit is all back to corruption. That is the backbone. That's poverty.
Laughter. Now laughter. I just want to can you get his attention a little bit?
Yeah. So Doc Lafake
I
yeah, that's why he wanted to go. Doc
Well,
wanted
I laughter now with all of these things happening in the Gambia. How do you connect it to the crime rates? Funding kelbe fala, molbe mol fala, sunguti ngol betala do ko la birol to molbe fala je, molbe mol fala la suwal kono. People are not safe in their houses. They are not safe in the streets. They are not safe at their workplaces. And then it looks like the government literally doesn't even care about molka mol fai kamre ke fai silolo kanko ulolo. Where exactly do you actually see our security and all of these things that are very much interconnected? Would you refer to this government as, a total governance failure?
It's a disgrace. Failure, disgrace, inability, incompetence, inefficiency. These are the issues they should be talking about. Not going to these NPP functions, caricaturing people. The next victim might be anybody, might be their family, might be my family, might be my friend, might be anybody. That is the level of political immaturity, insincerity in this country. You are no one there. Right now, before you distribute, you must equip the police first. We will enforce the drug law enforcement agency because all of these things are also connected to these illicit drugs that these boys consume. You know the hubs, you know the cattle, you know the people behind the drug business in this country. But you will only follow these local boys who sell little, and the people, the barons who will bring in containers and tons, are there working with your hand in gloves. They know them. So in Banco Abitaka Nyame, allied capture. Whatever in Banco. Nemo Mona Mole Somosoto, or Momola Codin Soto, you are good to go. But no more master to comment on Farol, the problem was not the problem was. Now you've been told me, Wosila, Jack, Bohol and Dolia. But Modolia, Boholo, Dolia, windmill obligate, Boholo obligate, water treatment plant obligate. Distillation equipment will be even in a borehole or para, or even in a sinkhole in a castle velvet wall or even a water in the distill. They are on full tank on gas on a 5 or 10 kg generator. They have solar batteries. They don't even care. That's how serious and that's how bad our conditions are. So government failure, new offering, it can't follow to them. It our phone right. No time it has failed. These people are in crisis. But they cannot accept the fact. In life, there is a say you have to appreciate to be able to celebrate. But these people, they don't even appreciate themselves. So they can never celebrate. What they do is always keeping things under the carpet. Something that I talk about and they will never accept the reality. The Mansakunda will not take responsibility of saying we failed in delivering this, we're trying to fix it. A or B, this is how we want to do it. That's called governance. Even things are not going fine. You have to come forth. Talk to the population, talk to your people, the citizens, tell them these are our problems, this is how we want to fix it. A, B, and Z. But these people, they don't even communicate. They don't talk to people. When they take us for a ride, go get me all that. Tune in, you can't if I want to see that. You can tell them whatever you want to tell them. You just see the process of the argument. You still only in substandard, still metaphor, the kick back. You have a load in Blabi. We can a project do I begin. We are on a project do I begin. You have a load in that. It has to do that with no drainage. The man that I still be because they make it. The man had it. Mano Boakande, it is Basal Dona Boka Yaku and Yamayatu Lari. So, Jonah, erosion of Walter Yataka, they erode la Beku. Nimbanko, Nibi and Wadingon. If you Balafala Banko follow and Banko do. Do I want to be in Yamay and Nakaraji?
Jema did
Yeah, for now, Yama Dromola Motonyati. You know, bare nteka jakal minna fang eka drainage or ke dula dol min fang to the drainage had nowhere to drain. In any amwe muntole drainage okay ko jio nyanda tala muntole ita ma connect to any water body. Ite fenko dinko drona si wodla. Where is the water going to drain? Nowhere. So for geo dum foi ko elo ko geo ka to drainage o dinkan no foi ko elo ko geo ka to wala kono ba because nyin geo nyanta move lale on a level and go and drain somewhere and Gambia lombang ko temi yalonko we have the river Gambia and we have the Atlantic Ocean, so drainage system should not be a problem for our country. But again, people just do haphazard work. But I think technically, in our sector or in the industry, many times, but I don't know. What happens generally is you have a general contractor or a controlling contractor, mimbe silo dadala, but you also have project management professionals that would actually serve as construction compliance management. Kajo ko itolo better la mansa kundala toyala nyindol wollondo kulalte contracto diminla, and these people's responsibility is to make sure that nyini min for contracto kono ye bara obela, including both the quality and of course all the technicalities that are required in the heavy civil engineering work they are doing. But I can modulate in dollar Dubai, they put in some drainage, whatever, but the drainage had no draining point. Wala na kabinda mo silo jibe ngo ko sign alla nyin drainage wa kata dam mun tole fa kata connect Ghana town like I futa badala ba fakata connect ni gamte loto la ita futa bada la ba oh aliya samba fonna bade ko dal ko drainage danta water fonta la bade ko mu balade. That is not a draining point. So where will all that water go? Ikata do molla kordal la kono. Wa Gambia lom banko to mi yalo ko ne silo fonje jiyo ka loje ngata nga banko bonji, and then we expect it to be at the same level. Where do we expect the water to go? So I think generally, when we see all of these things happening, they are very substandard. They are not up to the required development standards. And I don't even know for Gambia for standard form in terms of road infrastructure and other infrastructural development.
The only standard is to put money in the pockets of people who are always there for government project kickbacks. That's the only standard. Standard taker. They are not making drainage. They are making waterways and water paths and culverts for water. Only to make sure that Amatas Highway, they are the police people all can understand. They will say they will drain the roads and soak the house and the homes. Whatever it is. They will take the water from the road and soak the homes. That is it. They don't have any problem. You should be able to have a canal that will be linked to the reservoirs, whether it's going to be in the riverbanks or somewhere else. That is the essence of a drainage. But you cannot call those things drainage. These water paths and culverts for water to cross and go and destroy other people's homes and houses. That is it. Instead of mitigating natural phenomena like flood, in this country they don't mitigate it. They are the people who aid and abet disasters because they fail to put in the structures, the drainage, and whatever that should be there to avert natural disasters. Instead of them doing that, they are aiding and abetting the process of flooding. Gambia government projects will go now. They don't avert it there. They don't mitigate it there. They empower it. They support it. Pre-meditate and pre-plan it. And at the end of the day, they will go collect funds and come and eat again for disaster and flood victims. This is the truth. National Disaster Management Agencies. National disaster.
Management is not there.
Management is not there. National Disaster Spreading Agency. It has spread. It's not like a spread. They market it. You can say marketing agency. National Disaster Marketing Agency.
Now I say
You should be the advisors to those projects. That this waterway, this place is a waterway. When we have a culvert here, we should link it to a drain that will have a reservoir somewhere else. If you cannot empty them into the banks of the rivers and in the ozone, you need to have a reservoir.
Yeah.
Maybe link it to one of these agricultural or horticultural centers. Then the water will be used for irrigation. It will be very useful.
Yeah.
No, in the Gambia it is not like that. They're not thinking about agriculture at that stage. The only agriculture they think about is during the rainy season. They bring tractors, they full farmers here and there. After they are processed, they will not even be able to buy it from the farmers, and they tell them that is agriculture. This is baronomics. Barola economics return me.
So I want us to move to the issues of
Yaya is a dictator. You will get the fear aspect of being put in a base on. You don't have a terrible. I hate induce. I hate corrupt. I hate micromanage. One of funding called Baker Tablet of out. I hate an economic life that's stifle. I partly indeed and labor that I'm sending this is the level of hypocrisy in this country. Silent majority going global and then vocal minority. They know it. We live through it. We live with each other in the same zones, in the same areas. We are undergoing the same stress, including those people in the NPP. They will still tend to be supporting Barrow blindly because of their selfish interest. That is not how we should fix a country. That is not called patriotism. That is not called love for content. That is just called selfishness. self-centered, egoistic
Khadija.
people, opportunistic people that doesn't have any other of remorse and love for God.
Mr. Koma, I wanted to drag your attention on the issues of the corruptions before Baduna political corner because Bakaja Kumfala water. I mean, you are very, very far when it comes to Niada Kuala Kabada in Tapala in Nakarola. I mean, CDS la kuwa infinita no koma demanding about kulun ko ning ku kota wadola. Kabiri infinita no, what was your reaction? What do you know about it and other issues of corruption in Bakirin Bangoga?
Corruption is an entire episode.
Yeah, first they were there.
We were never follow our women. People think I was joking. Oh, this guy is great. That is just the tip of the iceberg. He is working with a team, and the team is still there. So when you want to get to the root of the problem, you must decimate that group for a later.
Yeah.
CDS alone going is not solving the problem there. It's still there. Somebody is still not in a position but he run the affairs of the department because the people there are still loyal to him. So that doesn't mean that you solve the problem, bro. Membejam is too much. We cannot discuss that in this episode. We have to solve it. You say this day we talk about corruption in all departments. Year after department by department, I will be able to tell you. I have a lot of information I'm sitting on. A lot. Hey, this country, we are not a serious country, my brother. People are joking in this country. People don't care.
Oh, wow, kela for our own episode, lady. But you know, nalon na ko funding kela Carola, you've served in different capacities in different, among sports that matter, but funding kela yurual no kukatamol. And when your term is over, you leave for other people to come. Already that speaks to your democratic nature and belief in God. This government does not seem to care about term limit at all. Barrow was supposed to be for 3 years, but aside the Sanjita Wara Ulanin Lulu. What exactly do you think Gambians should do to actually oust the regime like this? And what is your general, examination of this current government in its totality?
Omar, it is just back to the same thing. We repeat ourselves. Ineptitude, patriotism, and selfishness. One boy, medical word for man. Look at those people. Look at their CV. Look at their political background. Look at their political footing. The likes of Demba Sabali. Who is Demba Sabali? A nurse. So-called doctor. Who was taken from nowhere. I'm appointed Minister of Agriculture. Who doesn't know anything about even horticulture, let alone agriculture.
And you cannot even distinguish a weed from a crop. How can you be Minister of Agriculture?
If you go and tell him what eucalyptus to show you one, I can't know that. For that, so most people are party because they think Ballot is feeble. They can come, penetrate, and that's what they do. They're not talking about anything that affects the country. It's only what suits Ballot because that is what keeps them at their jobs. So it is not about serving country, it's serving Ballot and his political will and sojourn. So that is telling you the type of people we're dealing with. They are very mean and callous and they don't care. They don't have an iota of patriotism in their system and they are not worried about Gambian people. Gambian only at the end of the month, you pay your more sort of utility vehicle only so they don't care what the ordinary government is going through. better school kono kuranta yambe to tora because they can have full tank on gas for their 10 kVA generators and on standby. They don't care. Overnight they are all rich. So in the ineptitude and the level of corruption in this government, they all have vested investments here and outside this country. So basically, this is telling you the type of people we're dealing with. They are junglers, economic junglers. I told you, they don't care. The only thing they care about is what is in their pocket and what they can grab home for their family. What Gambia goes through, it's none of their business. It's none of their business. They're not looking at the longer picture, at how bigger picture. They're looking only inwards. Only I mean, this is the syndrome with these people. So, moment kalo akakumo for India time. Moment alongo. Project o member ko ilaning project o giraffe project. Ibita all launch la. The entire department, because of the podium, allowance women did 2,500 a day for every staff. Only 3 members of the staff were left at the ministry. The entire time when they go for their inaugural, one deputy permanent secretary for finance and admin, one archives clerk, and one security man at the gate. All the drivers, cleaners, everybody will go. By the time they are done, each and every member of that department is paid $2,500 out of the giraffe project money. You call that development. If they spend 5 days there, each guy goes with 12,500, depending on the category of or the cadre of payment that you belong to. Maybe the permanent secretaries and the ministers and the deputy permanent secretary are well above that and the directors. I'm telling you, the ordinary security guy, the driver and the cleaner will all go for that inauguration. What has the agricultural department have to do with a road inauguration? Road. Department of very close. Cut out. Every vehicle, 20,000, including even political vehicles for political big wigs of the NPP. 20,000, all from this project money. That's why the agriculture project got out of I'm just giving you one out of the lot that's happening in agriculture. So if the Masabale comes here, open his mouth, tell us, Ballot, you think we're gonna pay hit to him? We don't, because he doesn't give a heck to what we're going to, and we don't give a heck to who he is. That's why they will not be respected. They are called honorable, but they are very dishonorable people. They are not serving the interests of this country, they are serving their own personal interests. So at times, when you look at these people, they make you say things that are not worthy coming out of you. But they get you mad.
Now, which is very political. I have been observing NPP ni political nyala. You know, stop that. Mede political nyaji bela ngaje ni kata kiang isa ko kasa mas jola la ka karte fa usieno daboy. Ni tata dula kotongol to isa foyo ko amma mo hatina manke adingol barinti walla mo surwalti ni tata foni nyolto isa foyo ko kar nyolle mambetea and the nimbaro shita la platform oto isa kaja firu kumolo ni ndendir kumol ni ko sifa be safa UDP la leader kam ndanga jela ko this government had constantly used populism to actually try to define UDP in a very bad light, to make them look like this, if you are to describe the UDP to the people, what exactly would you say? Because internet, from what I can tell is like being in youth work and of course, helping young people in sports and in different lights. Ita buka moji be fo munyina de fo munyina da anunda malla ko ibola la ka economy ya lonko is described in that light. How would you describe an organization like the United Democratic Party to the public?
Baraka Bage is an inclusive party. It's the party of the Gambian people. It's the only political party. The leadership there was not created by itself. People came together to create the United Democratic Party, select a leader for it. Different from any other political entity. Name me one political party that is not bankrolled by an individual who formed it out of his own concept and later on people join him. Tell me one political party in this country, including the end. Tell me one. Nobody can tell me. UDP was formed by an as political party, NCP, the PPP, came together to form the United Democratic Party. When they formed the United Democratic Party, the time they were selecting the party leader and the secretary general, Hussein Dabo was attending the 1996 Olympics with his family in the United States. Fact. Undiluted. Which other political party can boast of that? None. He has gone through everything that people will aggrandize people across the border for doing, and Hussein did that. He won the prison. He was stopped in a campaign trail in Chamun. He was ambushed in Chamun. He was stopped at Fast Jabatoy. He was jailed after April 14, just to salvage this country from the clutches of a dictator. That is called class. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Hussein Dabo is not looking for relevance. Relevance reckons and recognizes Hussein Dabo. He is the most incorruptible political leader in the annals of Gambian history. I repeat myself, incorruptible. He has served publicly, privately. He served as state minister for foreign affairs, vice president. But there was never a time he's even mentioned in-house connecting to anything that has to do with corruption, nepotism, and favoritism. All the times he has been criticized, he has been labeled, he has been maimed. The president himself will come out and exonerate him that Hussein was not aware. It was Ahmad, it was whoever, this guy and that guy who told me A, B, C, and D. What do you need from him again? He has been proven, he has been tried, he has been tested, and he still stands tall. But what they say is telling you the people they are, they are contradicting themselves. They know that blood will be send down time on his own. They know that blood will be going to have a banding called Fast Alaba and do all body. But the other member, it all goes back to square one. It is a tribe or more than tribalist. It's only tribalist. But the Yadu make a man the guy out of a woman to learn Taji quality. It's a more brand in all our one more than Galgate, don't Ben Hecht. They are not part of any tribe. They are just self-centered people. They don't belong to the Wolf, they don't belong to the Stoke, they don't belong to the Fuller, they don't belong to the Saravula. They are just selfish individuals. Because this country must come amlud. Nene most of when I never for all of you because Useno down. And I'm also what they must want for all of you like what one I do want to bring you. After all of your letter. So moment I must follow them all of them. Or more tribal sort. Ni da na do de ko aballa fi da Usen da wala do kula bi mu jola. It's good. ABCB will do with now the only door. Moment tribalist, environment, more than a tribalist on the mental fuego. I did not drive one in the only day left again, Nation. What land tribalist wanted? But that clip is there for the lesser minds and the feeble minded people. The Einstein-ness and the average minds will know that these people are just political opportunists. The UDP is the party of everybody. Me, when I'm walking, when I'm relating, I don't like to discuss this. It's sad. In this country where I live here around Kumbuja, I live in the midst of Syrians and Fulas, and we are dining and whining together. We don't have a problem. We celebrate each other. We help each other out. We solve each other's problems. There's no tribe issue here. It's only when politicians like the NPP politicians are on the platform, and it's very sad to say, but it's from the principal himself. Because it's empowered, endorsed by the president. Because the forecast start.
No, ate ba jikiri na kola ka la politiko balundi.
As the president. So Nimo would tell us party or way more than this should not be a surprise to people. This is telling us how these people should be and they are. Now, it will come to Anagi. It will come to exonerate. They are showing to the Gambian people who they are. The level-headed Gambian people all know who these people are. Ni Edo Winyo Ken, ni doing Paul, doing Sere, doing Jora, doing Sauce. Ni Nyom Nyom Ham Nan like Don. Run Don Moine Nyom, send enter the rec, that is what matters. Because these people will throw their kind under the bus for their position. These people will attack their kind for positions. So these people, they don't belong to anybody. These people are just antisocial. That's how we should call these people.
Yeah.
They are antisocial people. They don't want to socialize with anybody. If there is peace anywhere, they will want to bring restrictions for political gains.
Sure.
This is how they are. But for the UDP, it's the party of all people. And we are relating with everybody. We don't have a boundary. This misconception is gradually being cleared out because people are seeing the reality. That is how it is.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask, because time what are the UDP's chances to reclaim State House again? Perhaps you might not agree with us, but 2016, UDP took up the State House. They took the State House, but subsequently Paul Mantaku. What did you know about Ballot at that time? And then now that I'll separate that, and then now you guys are trying to reclaim back the power of government. Alba Musim Fanyali.
Yeah, hani ni Omar Malmo. Ani ndenyawo. Nila fenda ni gollo na kende ibe nkarafala symbol. Nimko symbol ma for municipal bankola symbol. Aka hana wadi mo falling what kilim mente mess.
That's true.
But obviously deflectors will come. They'll come deflectors. Deflectors they will always come to satisfy their master. But Gambian opposition political parties, Nkodolman Parade, Nkodolman Parade. Eda the captain fire or political for the president party for Nimon ko be diam le ka mo le ko mbele kanda on don ka dole nakal ni dunia problem bi hani Iran ni USA te manakro le bije bari mali kabrin nakaro bo raje they are making a peace deal between them leaving Israel out wala nakaro di Israel ni na fatela je nakaro ni mo Israel so nete ko respect. Anyone Gambian or respect. You do tell a councilor a palasola. You do tell a bear a palasola. You do tell a deputy a palasola. For presidential category. Nasty that we get a full decoy that category. It ain't now do more than about. For it, more than a Kabusota, wouldn't it come because it is more to be a woman and I don't pass in that. Only to get a share of what will be shared at the end of the day for a share government. That is a kubos. The realistic ones. Koku Nimaka Dunia Konongo, Hanilakira numbers matters. Even the election that we're talking about is numbers 50 plus 1. If numbers don't matter, we'll not even get into election, bro. So telling people numbers and size doesn't matter is a joke.
Sure, certainly.
All of you put on 2 XL, me I put on 4 or 5 XL. You telling me size don't matter? That's the joke. That is the joke of the century. You can say, size doesn't matter and numbers don't matter. For it, you are preempting your stance before even the end of the discourses. What I know, Oman Malmo take it to the bank. I don't know whether there will be 2 or 3 alliances or coalitions, but there will be. And slowly, come December 5th, Gambian people, regardless of where they are, behind coalition or political parties, will effect change. What is happening in this country? I'm more favor.
Yeah.
Been tam borom bere kono nyogori wala ni make bintaye ake kunkoloe.
That's true.
Adu mol kana mira the perception they have. Mo buka kato fa kusenda boy wallahi azim ni banko diata dago kunande ture kunna ni job kunna ni koma kunna bere ani sise kunna we are more bele
Sorry, go ahead.
State house for it. But baro for la koda be da me yara mamba la silol da la je wolle ti ta gambir da be da na koran system.
Maria kun nasilo ni mantar be dari sanende.
Abi ko wal daran.
Yeah.
So say abuka mo tuje. Let nobody think that you're doing a favor for Kusel Dabu or the UDP. No, we say political change. And political changes in government must be driven by political parties. Men fanal ka ko ndate political ni na de political da be tabe ta kai drive ay na fo be sin da bay tamanduro ke kam and we ku no la je. The price that intelligent people and responsible people pay is not to protect in politics, and they allow fools to decide for them. And mediocre. That is the danger of our politics and our political landscape. Everybody is a politician. Mokakara for me have not decided. Everybody has decided. You either choose progress or backwardness. You either choose change or you maintain the status quo. Nico, I'm affiliated, but yes, still I'm right now. But I'm undecided. There is no undecided person when it comes to politics. BBT, more be alo lafta benna, more be alo na muna be keri ni bankuka, more be alo na ko muna kala interest. But ni be nakaro ke la fana. Inya ke di bika mo le simo na kandim. Iba alo na ni si na tele ni atno afo so na gedi before nya ke.
That's true.
Nobody is doing anybody. It's our civic right and duty to change the status quo in this country. Can you banko bonding ni mol buliti mano? They know able. It has some manora. Sangita yadi woman every time is blunder upon blunder, issue upon issue. Huh? Story upon
Oh
story.
for nyamin drong wala mo to nati.
For not extra 5 years.
Yeah. Dog wanna come. Mama wanna come.
For nyamin drong wala mo to nyati. Ano ne mo be kono to diala wala drong. Wala tin nanda ka fo nyawla kachaka diante because abuka kachaka ka ko. This is where I belong, and then I'm just going to just side on whatever. Tonya moment na Bangkok wala fo andong nobody could always dispute or actually refute what he says. They are undeniable facts, and then he present them the way they are. Moro, nimbe tonya fo la nyoya nun tanyo ketula. There is no way ba fola moy ko political number mamata karmi na number siya tang kola kanyaton kayake. Auto everything revolves around the numbers. Ola mtu wanyati. Yo, butong tanga mera loko people who are very much engaged in the coalition discussions. Numbers should not even be the talking point. Maybe belala nyola nyaming aning kaji benu moro al landno timmandal da malu tema mimbe kela weke ngaji benu benyim banko falina nyaming banko londi silo ni saratolaka. That should be what people should be preoccupied with. But again, political parties, it only their own bargaining terms and conditions, and all of that. I understand that. But Gambia and Nyintiko, we have a collective action problem. And this current government had long become a collective action problem. Because ni nata jibe inanama mo muta corruption la nyimbanko ka nyimbanko la corruption of that level to me along ko ala along kila along ala natambitale. The insecurity in this country is unbearable. The level of poverty has increased to a point that more dollar bijeni wal konton tebuka simang. More, the level of poverty has turned a lot of, decent and of course forwarding all I turned into civilized beggars in this country. So Ninga Moli Jibe, they are looking at their individual political ambitions, not really seeing a collective action problem that is actually this regime that is hell-bent on self-perpetuation, Abalafaka Warabakel. Even though everybody have a soft spot for one or another politician, that is very normal. Until after Kare Loma Getanati, but When we have a collective action problem, football ibuka ikalo no ko karle football no mo bara more adama buka karadam foka. People come together and you have an 11 of a team to put a solid team puri kajo ko ya muta nyofe kajo ko it all they all work together for the collective interest of that team. So on that, I believe in whatever because there is no way. Ni mantanyo ketulang kombe tuanya drone na fola nyaur. Yeah, mean for all mukumoti. But at the end of the day, it all revolves around more la lafin na fenkol. Of course, we could allow people to say what they want, but at the end of the day, I think,
everybody has a soft spot for an individual or a political party. That's true. Today I was watching Argentina play football, Argentina national team.
Right.
Messi is scoring the goal, but these games and this tournament, the team is carrying Messi.
Yeah.
That's true.
They are playing for him. This is how it's supposed to be in Gambian politics. Let the other people who are future. Let's take him for the more. When you are youth man, you are not even 40. You have nothing to lose in the political arena. You have a bright future. Today, this is his last tournament, whether he likes it or not. The entire team is passing Messi to be able to put Messi as goal. And he scored 5 goals for Argentina in this World Cup. That is, Argentina, 5 goals they have scored is all courtesy of Messi. But Messi is assisted for all those goals. It's not Messi who brings the ball and score. Or it was not a direct free kick or a penalty. He is assisted. So, na political for the World Cup. So, na Messi is not na political more in your busy. No, somebody, we should not bring in this bargaining conditions as of yet. UDP affects the man. But if you are part of the coalition, you are a party leader, you can interview you have a size don't matter, numbers don't matter. That is like throwing a tantrum to somebody, you may numbers of you don't expect people to live that to slide. You can have a click, let me take our political click for may I don't go. Our opponents have been using it for the last 15, 20 years against us. When that is not even actually the truth. So this is what we are saying. Go. La Bancoji. There are 2 options. You decide to move and remove this guy. You cannot have 2 or 3 candidates. The only answer is don't vote for Barry. Gambian people, don't vote for Barry. There will be other candidates, obviously. You have time to choose candidate A, B, or C, who you want to give your vote for, but don't give it to Barry. If that is the message, don't give it to Barry. Barry, do it. I can will that. What can go do that? So, yeah, you want to wait and be. This is it. We're not forcing anybody to like a candidate that you're supposed to like. But in life, there are times you sacrifice for the country, you sacrifice for people, even at your own detriment. Kudo because of one more bill and a fat. Kudo man de te so ya malafi ini malafi kadi, but when banko na fat, I didn't walk in any banko open. But I be mel bulu, man na flower bulde. I do it's everybody's responsibility prior goal bull. So lalo me no de la nyaadile. So no more na no ka nyaadile. Me na igol din na tonal vendatal ni la nyaadile. Pour banko do be ke kinin na Adam Barrow for the state house. But because Adam Barrow to the state house for the next 5 years to come, will be tied this country.
Mr. Koma,
for everybody.
Never kidding is about the IEC. Last election, Albarantal election when you won fair. And then subsequently another audit report it indicted some of the commissioners, some economist crime they involved them into. Be near IEC SSB, Jigo Be Jelabang, barring near the election also the other back and UMC me and Aldonio Long and be in a registration on your pending. Me and I am not seeing sense in it anyway.
And whatever IEC do is premeditated. How can you have 50,000 double registrations?
Yeah.
A president cannot trace double registration. You call and you want to throw that system. automated system, a national system that should take
Should
care
be
of national
should be
preference.
able to detect that at the level of even trying to. If you click, it should be able to detect it.
Even a ticket system on you, I go detect. You know, you cannot start it twice.
Even ordinary ticket system worldwide will detect that.
Yeah.
So our system here cannot detect double registration up to 50,000. That is telling you how ineptitude, how broke, how rogue the IEC system is. If anybody trusts that system, the opposition party is not valid. Many men know from the stuff like coalition leader, you want to kind of Roman important. Now my IEC is a non-start. It's a foregone conclusion. That place is like the dungeon. Everything there is wrong, including the system. A system that cannot detect double registration.
But Mr. Koma, Jenny Bitala Nyaro. Jenny Bitala Nyaro.
Then use Alpha Comma, Nyaur Comma, and Number Comma in different places.
But Mamma, Jenny Bitala Nyaro for you said something to me, young Mianako, you know, I still want to back. 50,000 duplicated votes. I mean, election whole. I mean, I think those are things me and look at election because perhaps we'll look at red and white, we'll look at a white, plain white paper, but what I know was all on that. But perhaps there are a lot of those things me and look at. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's more than that. So
Along IEC la ko nimbe kachala wala koma ngaje janne nyimo kilongol mini be IEC wala be je kabiri ya jamano ngaje janne ko APRC bureau there were over 300,000 voters cards there wala bota mun tole card IEC la ka voters card all demol ngaje la nyimo kilongol ni ko kodo mimbe manketa they were even paying themselves 3 months in advance kodi lo kodo dunda dlalto min ya lon ko ni man foroya mol ni kodo tema ide ba foroya no la ni na election o tema nyadila parte because somebody who is going to be voted is going to run our entire country and our entire government machinery and budget. So, need a man for a and only could me for a dollar election of the Nadine.
It is Sayanola. One and Tonyat. Nimen la Fakatoya Mango, 3,000 B. Nakajan Donelekoa, voter told me Buka regulate. Model Fatal will told me, but Ibukamo will go.
No, Tilimbarialam.
Ibukamo in 300,000 no, it should be scrap of the voter toll.
Exactly.
It was in the system, but it's still maintained in the system.
You can filter that in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, you can filter that. I cannot get it sometimes.
300,000. They can filter it down if it is anonymous, but it's already encapsulated in the system. It is there within the system. The framework will not have names. You can bring any individual within that 300,000, put names on it, print it out, and it will be still valid. It will be in the system because it's already incorporated.
Damn.
The numbers will be created. It will be fictitious. It will be whether they vote or not. They can be added and adjusted. Because it is a system we're talking about. But the system that is having defects, like it cannot detect double registration, you want to go into an election with that system?
So what would be UDP stand, and other political parties? Address. I mean, I don't think you don't need to go to election.
My stand might not be the party.
Our stand cannot be UDP. He's not a UDP spokesperson.
That's of the party. But what I'm saying, if any serious political party, including the UDP, want to win an election, they have to go to IEC. They sit down. They have a lay down house rules, and many of the house rules should take. And that voter toll register should be totally scrutinized
by all the parties. All the parties should be involved in that.
All the political parties.
That's what he's saying.
The election. Or
exactly.
let them boycott the elections. Because it will not be an election. It was going to be another humiliation when actually that doesn't interpret the aspiration of the Gambian people.
Yeah, long Adam Fonga for Nyawur to help you there. Atela ko mole ko ate mo mota do kola wol be nyanta atela dala la mutala andung atela ka IEC fonga do kola. So already that's a foregone conclusion. Ko tilingon into nyamanta tamala jankadu ndanga mo mota do kola wol nyanta tela dala la mutala jumale jone nyimo ko don appoint IEC is the president. So multimedia long ko the people that actually voted him in wanted for them to bring about reforms. Constitution kudo ninku ko don mini long ko they were going to address some of these issues. But deliberately, who even runs a democracy on a dictatorial constitution? Yamuru wota ko ngete la vitamin ka bara wala. So when in reality will we have an independent electoral commission when you know that one of the player located tombong put it in referee? It's just like a team in football, picking the referee for the opponent team. How do you expect that referee to be fair? So in short, the existing political parties should all come together and have a national protest like Ajoko. You know what? The Independent Electoral Commission, with all these financial scandals and everything that is going on, is not worth it to run our elections in December, because otherwise it will just be another, come and do whatever they want to do for the regime to continue. Because Gambia lo ni mo mo palaso di lede kamera loko, you owe that person an obligation or you owe them your life.
That is the office of the IEC and the office of the Director of Public Prosecution should be separate from any political appointment. It should be left to the appointment or the scrutiny of the National Assembly only.
Exactly.
And there must be job security, that you are not answerable to anybody.
Para Gambia long kaje ka auditor general wutu ko nyambo ko kuta caring fentem for corruption on nin tilimbalian in tajidinte ya mimbe nyimbanko ka. E kamera banko dingola mbuko oje. Mini alon ko luale wala protect.
Luale will protect, but the same thing coming for if you are recruited in the bad way.
Yeah.
If you are recruited in the bad way, he is also handpicked, he is headhunted. He is out of their cabal. He came to serve a purpose, he refused to serve that purpose, and he paid the price. That is it. Well, they are not good people. They are not.
Ale alo ye min se ndano do mun dala ne bolte jande nin ton tankala bungola jibe janade andon nim modol min be mansa kunda sankare nyol ni mo ko tongol ni nata jande ka sabata tel la bun kono de. So another thing is like he is just one of them.
Is it? That is it. He is just one of
them. Emi murunda no do. Ni nara conference ole ke la wala bun kono jamone amero be findela la foyo kalbe min na tapale yalo. Oro nabango mandrasila kende kam. But anyway, they have exhausted my fangama ngawati jambala tajam. But one thing I want to say is honestly, I have very strong admirations for your personality and eka lo tonya fasa nyimbanko kanyaming. Honestly, ni mimo for mo ramon tonya for. In as much as it's very difficult in our country, there are thousands and thousands of people out there who have very, very strong admiration for what you do for our country. And your continued, outspoken, ventures that you do for our country are not really unnoticed. A lot of people are very appreciative of the great work you're doing for our country. Kato, moro ningande lungo minna dongalonko na banko be tumbun na wolungola. So, in as much as we have a very terrible system, we will continue to educate and, of course, raise awareness and then raise the alarms to our people. And that will dumbe wala silokang. And then, devoid of wherever one supports, you have been very consistent and very truthful and honest about what is happening in our country. If we can't really say we appreciate what you're doing, we can't say any less. And honestly, from my personal, capacity, I'm a strong admirer of what you do, man. Kay alama ale hakilo tuibala and then ibe ko min na nyumbanko kang ale along kila along. I am very, very much personally appreciative of the great job you're doing for our country.
That speaks volume of who you are. Because in life, it's only people who are good, who always see good in other people. Honestly, I'm like, you also another great son of the land that people also look up to, and you've been like critical of issues from a lens that is more patriotic than partisan. So we like two people who have very, very, very similar attributes. Maybe you are the cool, soft-spoken guy. Me, I'm the other type. Maybe that is the difference. Well, at the end of the day, we all serve Mona Gambia, and for Mona Gambia, we'll be allowed to be called names. We'll also not relent in what we're doing, and we'll always be speaking the mind of the ordinary Gambian people. We'll be the voice of the voiceless, and we'll speak on their behalf, where they are not represented, where they can be heard. We always deliver the message. But I'm speaking from the streets. What they are telling me on the streets, in workplaces, in bantabas, in hospitals, in markets, that's what I relate out there. So I thank you all for according me the opportunity to be heard once again.
Yeah, we would do this again, Mr. Nyaur Koma, and I think that one we're gonna do it daytime so that you'll be able to have light without Nawek. We're not gonna be disrupted. Maybe the only thing is we are going to bribe Gamtel or Gamsel to help us with the connection. But the last question about what is next for Nyaur Koma in government politics?
Huh?
What is next for you in government politics?
Next for me, I want to serve the country first by making sure there is changes come December 5th. If that is effected, later on, 1 year will be in Gambian politics. That time will also come. Because I'm a politician. I can't say I don't want anything or I don't want to run for politics. Because if really I want to have an impact, I am just talking about issues. I have to represent that I'll be able to have a positive impact on their livelihood. That cannot be done when I don't have authority. That cannot be done when powers are not entrusted to me. That cannot be done when I'm not legally mandated by a document, by an act, or by a constitution that will empower and give me certain power and authority to be able to impact people's lives. Well, when the time comes, as they used to say, Simma kudo ni ngaba kudo ni simma sid abikela by the new State House. That is my goal 100%.
We need to take Nyaul to the National Assembly where I think he belongs.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you very much. It was nice having this conversation with you, Joe.
Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much, Mr. Nyaur Koma. Kabina Flash, Yani Mojimari Auta, students from the university. I mean, I doubted that. Kabiri Konyako boy, new program than Nyaura is my guy. And today, Modo Fana call from Tujana Konya Kebalam, Diamana Nika Dugo. No, I've never seen him, but Ngala program Moloma. That's so Scott Umari Minfela Kodak. Mojimar be content back, coming a Bangkoka. Even myself with your statistics and all the things, god damn. Bro, this guy do research before the program. So continue doing what you're doing. Continue doing great for the Gambia. A lot of people are really, really inspired by what you do. We really love what you do, and we're gonna bring you back because there is a whole lot of things that we need to discuss. Mbesa malnang na modo bani na NPP na isi nakacha. I mean, patin about our country. Purka jako nakacha kulmiya nakapateni bankola tanya romina. Abarka bake ila time mo mita purka naka join feja. Thank you.